What's up, Wizards? Welcome to MTG Alchemy. I'm your host, Koi Cook.
And I'm CJ.
Today we're doing CJ's deck tech for the next episode of Wizard Wars, and we're starting right now. Alright guys, so today we're doing CJ's deck tech that he's going to be playing with on the next episode of Wizard Wars. But before that, I want to shout out to all of our patrons. I really appreciate you guys. So to everybody here at MTG Alchemy, you guys are the backbone to our entire operation. So if you guys want to support our channel directly and you want to become a patron, go over to patreon.com/MTG Alchemy. You can support us right from there. $1 a month goes a very long way. Okay, so let's get into it. So today we're doing CJ's deck tech. Who are you playing with?
I'm playing with Aminatou, the Fateshifter.
With Aminatou, I can +1 to draw a card and put a card from my hand on top of my library. -1, exile another target permanent you own, then return it to the battlefield under your control. -6, choose left or right. Each player gains control of all non-land permanents other than Aminatou, the Fateshifter, controlled by the person of the chosen direction.
All right, so I'm assuming that you doing a lot of top deck stuff with Aminatou.
Yes. So if I get cards out like Sensei's Divining Top, I try to get that card as early as I can because it just helps this deck flow. Once I use Sensei's Divining Top, all I really have to do is try to find cards like Brainstorm or Dream Cache and move those cards to the top, and then use the Sensei's Divining Top and tap it and draw a card. Throw the top back on top of my deck, and then use Dream Cache to put the top right back into my hand, and then throw that card back on board and just keep using that Sensei's Divining Top to just keep manipulating my deck to where I can constantly keep slinging spells that help me draw and get the spells in hand that I want.
So one thing that I wanted to mention just from that kind of stuff is cards. There's one card in specific, actually, Psychic Battle. Psychic Battle is really cool because as long as you get to know what's on top of your deck, throughout the entire game, you get to just say no. So every time somebody tries to target something, cast a spell, hey, I'm going to kill this guy with Swords of Plowshares or Path to Exile, somebody's targeting something, everybody turns up the top card of their deck, and then all of a sudden, somebody else gets to choose the targets for that spell.
Right, and so with Psychic Battle on my end, whenever somebody tries to Swords to Plowshare anything, whether it's one of my creatures or one of someone else's creatures, I can be the ultimate decision based off of it. Because I have high drop cards like Aminatou's Auguary and Zetalpa and Chromium to make sure that I can try to win those draws. And I would try to keep those three cards, one of those three cards near the top of my deck at all times. So if somebody does use a spell that targets anything on the board, I can just respond by using my Sensei's Divining Top, moving that Chromium or Zetalpa up to the top, and have a higher chance of winning that redirection of the target.
Right. So, yeah, and that makes all the difference in a deck like this, because I mean, you're simply you want more cards that care about the top of your deck as opposed to drawing or top decking or just having cards that say draw, 3 cards or whatever. So I mean, top decking is very important in a deck like this, but you're still going to have your staples, right? You're still going to have like Swords of Plowshares, Path to Exile. You're going to have stuff like Vampiric Tutor, Demonic Tutors, just so you can go get the stuff that you need.
Right.
And then with Aminatou, you get to draw the top card of your deck, pretty much knowing what it is anyway, and then you get to put whatever you want back into your hand.
Right. A lot of the times I try to put as many miracles as I can on top of my library to either bounce permanents back, put specific cards on the bottom of their owners' libraries, or even try to kill them, or maybe even take an extra turn if the miracle's there.
Miracles are really cool. Miracles are perfect for a deck like this because you get to control what's on top of your deck. So the next time it's your turn, you go to draw, and then all of a sudden it's Retreat the Angels or Banishing Stroke.
Right. There was this one time where I actually Banishing Stroked before, and you didn't like that very much, and then I just threw down an Archaeomancer, and I got Banishing Stroke back, used Aminatou, threw it back on top of my deck, Banishing Stroke something else of yours again on the next turn, and then I just kept blinking my Archaeomancer with Aminatou to just keep doing that to you, to keep controlling your board state, to keep you as weak as I can.
So what kind of board wipes What kind of board wipes are you using this deck? Because I'm sure you've got to have a few just to keep creatures off the board.
Yeah, I've got a few. I've got Banishing Stroke. That's more for one specific target. Devastation Tide, that returns all non-land permanents to their owner's hands. So that one affects me a lot too, because then I have to replay all of my spells depending on what I have out. But that just means I can reuse Aminatou again and put cards that were on the board back on top of my library in case I don't need them in hand right now, just to protect myself from discard. And I've got Terminus. Terminus is one of my favorite cards to miracle out because it's tremendous. It works out great because it puts all creatures on the bottom of their owners' libraries, and nobody wants all of their creatures going on the bottom, especially if you're making nothing but tokens.
Right.
If you're making tokens, they're just gone. You have to remake them however you can.
So stuff like Killing Wave, Akroma's Vengeance. Akroma's Vengeance is actually really cool because you can it does everything. It's like a choose two, right?
Yeah, well, no, it's a choose all. It destroys all artifacts, creatures, and enchantments.
Oh, that's right. And it's Austir's Command or something that's a choose two.
Right. So, but you can also use it for land cycling. But it's a tap 3. Most land cyclings are either a pay 1 of a specific color land or 2 colorless.
Right.
But with the Chroma's Vengeance, it's 3.
So you told me that you put a lot of, probably more than you need, Planeswalkers in this deck. Let's talk about those.
Yeah, I put 2 different Lilianas, 1 Obnixilis, and 2 Gideons, and a Dovin Bond. So the Dovin Bond, I really like his ultimate, but it's not often that I get to use his. If I can get him up high enough, I can get an emblem that says that people can't untap more than 2 permanents on each of their untap steps, while I get to untap everything. Usually I just use him for the card draw and the extra 2 life with his negative ability. Depending on what abilities other people's creatures have, if I don't like them, I can make it to where they can't activate those abilities.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Dovin Bond, and then the Gideon just kind of provides you with that extra protection.
Yeah, Gideon of the Trials. At first, whenever I was first building this deck, he was the only Gideon I had in the deck. But then I dug deeper into Gideon of the Trials and realized that with one of his 0 abilities, it says as long as you control a Gideon Planeswalker. So it doesn't matter if it's any Gideon at all. So I added an extra one just to give me that extra advantage, because people, once you put down that emblem with his 0 ability, everyone wants to get rid of it. Because nobody likes to see something like, oh, as long as you control this,
and it's
you can't lose.
It's kind of out of their head that if you get
another
Gideon that's a different Gideon, but you still can't lose because you control a Gideon. All right, so let's talk about your win conditions. Let's talk about, because we've kind of gone into, how we want to manipulate the top of your deck to manipulate the board as a whole. And keep what you want on top of your deck, such as miracles, and really high drops for stuff like Psychic Battle. But let's talk about win conditions. How do you win the game?
Well, the easiest way for Aminatou to win is my favorite way to win, which is Approach the Second Sun.
I think everyone on that end hates Approach to the Second Sun.
I love it for that exact reason.
You're that guy. You like to make all of them mad, and you like to make me mad.
Exactly. Because I have never lost to Approach the Second Sun because I always play it first. Yes, other people play it, but I play mine, and then I play that exact same one seconds later. I don't even pass my turn. With Aminatou, you can play Approach the Second Sun, and then play the Approach the Second Sun almost instantly just by card draw and deck manipulation.
So you get to draw, you get to look.
Because you get to draw, and if you save cards in your hand like Brainstorm and Treasure Hunt, or basically any card in this deck that allows you to draw, if you don't have them, blink your recursion creatures that bring back your instants and sorceries to your hand.
Right,
like your mnemonic wall and your Archaeomancer, and get that Brainstorm back.
So let's talk about another one. That's not your only one.
No. We'll talk about the hardest one to pull off. So the first piece of this puzzle is Bantu's Monument. With that, the black creature spells in my deck are going to cost 1 less to cast. Whenever I cast a creature spell, each opponent will lose 1 life and I'll gain 1 life. The second piece of the puzzle would be Release the Wind. Whenever you cast that for 2 colorless and a blue, exiles a target non-land permanent. For as long as that card remains in exile, that controller may cast it without paying its mana cost. And the final piece of the puzzle is Narumeha, the Master Wizard. He's a 4-drop, 2 colorless and 2 blue. And he's got Flash. He gives other wizards +1/+1, but he's not even in the deck for that reason. He is in this deck strictly for this machine gun type loop. And basically, whenever he enters the battlefield, you can copy a target instant or sorcery spell and choose new targets for the copy. So with Bantu's Monument out, you will play Release the Wind. You will target any non-land permanent on the board, and before Release the Wind resolves, you'll tap 4 and flash in Narumeha. Whenever you cast him, Bantu's Monument is going to make everyone else lose 1 life, and you'll gain 1 life. Whenever he resolves and hits the board, he's going to copy Release the Wind. Release the Wind's copy will target Narumeha. Narumeha will become exiled, and since he's got Flash, and you can play him for free, before the first Release the Wind resolves, you flash in Narumeha for free, triggering Bantu's Monument. Everybody loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Then he resolves and hits the board. You target Release the Wind before that one resolves. The copy copies Narumeha. You exile Narumeha. Then you flash him in for free. And you see where this is going. It never ends.
I was hoping we were just going to keep going.
I could all day.
Question of the day.
What cards do you think should go in this deck that are not on the deck list, and why?
So make sure you guys check out our tapped out link below. Check out the deck list, see what you guys think should go in the deck and that maybe isn't in the deck, and let us know what you think. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe and leave us a comment. Also, ring that bell so you never miss an episode, and that way you guys can keep caught up on everything MTG Alchemy. We'll see you guys next time on MTG Alchemy. And support us directly. Please go over to MTG Alchemy. Tell me about them.
Do you want me to talk about it?
Sure, go ahead. Ready?
Is this Patreon? And I'm just like, and I turn into a bedwetter because I don't know.